run it out, punch so quick. We're in it for the long haul. This is it. Run it out, run it out. We're taking the...
What's up, punks? Welcome back to the Poker Punk Show. I am Jason, aka Poker Punks, and this video we are going to do a deep dive into a hand that I played in last Sunday's mini main on PokerStars.com. And in this hand, we are playing a very weak hand, but we are in the small blind. It was only a half blind to invest in seeing a flop multi-way, and it paid off big for us. The main takeaway from this video is limping is bad, which is something that I stress in all my material. You always want to be raising first in. You never want to be limping. Even if you're trying to limp to rejam, it can backfire spectacularly on you, which is what happened to this person in this situation. So let's take a look at what happened. We are in the small blind, like I said. We have 4 deuce of hearts. Now, the fact that we are suited was just the tipping point for me to be able to justify calling the extra half blind in this situation. If we were offsuit, it really wouldn't make it worthwhile. But having that heart draw is just that much extra equity to give us the chance to see a flop here. So what we did is when it under the gun limps, player in middle position also limps, we complete, and then the player in the big blind just checks their option. We go to a flop, and it is a great one for us. We flop a flush draw and a pair, and in this situation, I don't want to start piling in chips. I only have a pair of 4s. I am beat by almost every other pair, but if you'll see, based off of 3 random hands that we're against, we are actually okay on pre-flop. When we actually see this flop, our equity jumps from 20% to almost 70%. So with that much equity, we don't want to bet here and have somebody raise and re-raise and just get blasted off of our equity. For us having such a weak pair and even a pretty marginal draw at best, it's best for us to check and evaluate what the other players do, and then we can make a decision based off of the other players' actions once we have more information on what everyone else is going to do. So we check. The big blind checks in flow as we expected because they didn't raise pre-flop. Now the under the gun player decides to bet pot. This is a pretty big bet. It is 1/3 of our stack, but with our exact hand, the equity that we have in it, we are justified in making this call. Seeing a turn, we'll still have about 8 blinds. If it is a brick that doesn't help us, we can just check, fold, and still try and chip up in another better spot. So we call here, and best case scenario, the big blind folds. Great turn card for us. This 2 of clubs should not set off any kind of alarm bells for the under the gun player, but it improves our hand massively. As you can see, we go from about 70% equity to 92% equity almost. That means that we are almost certain to win this hand. The only hands that we really have to be afraid of here are pocket jacks, pocket 7s, and possibly a higher flush draw. But the way this hand is played out, I don't want to bet here and scare off any bluffs that might be in the villain's range. So with that being said, we just check, they jam, we call, and they turn over pocket aces. We get a meaningless 4 to fill us up on the river, but their big downfall here is trying to limp jam or just limp in general with such a strong hand. If this player under the gun raises even to 2.2, 2.3 blinds, I am not calling with 4 deuce, even though it's suited, because my equity just doesn't have the required equity to play such a weak hand yeah, we're in the money, but we really want to get double ups, get some more chips, and make a deep run in this tournament. With us being able to double up here, after this, we went on a mini heater and we went from being 55th out of 61 up to like 5th out of 60 within the next orbit and a half. And that was the catalyst to us making a deep run and actually taking second place in this tournament. So instead of cashing for just under $35 off a $20 buy-in, we were able to cash for $950 off of a $20 buy-in. So that ROI just exploded, and this hand was the catalyst for that run. That's why I always stress, don't limp. Always be raising when you're first in. Always be 3-betting if you have the chance, because you want to have that aggression. You want to have that betting lead to be able to shape pots to get more money in when you're good, or pull back and lose less if you don't hit or if it's a bad flop for you. So the moral of the story here is don't limp, play your hand properly, and you will totally print way more than if you try and get tricky, especially against weak opponents and weak fields that you'll find in low limit tournaments and low limit cash games. So again, don't limp, play your hand properly. If you want some more content like this, check it out at pokerpunks.com. Go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button to get more videos from us. And if you have any comments, if you think that I should have played it differently, drop them down below. And as always, run it up the punks.
Run it up,